Greetings everyone, Angrade here with another Age of Empires 4 replay. Spawn on the right side as the red Holy Roman Empire, we have a foreign name. Spawn bottom left side as the purple Ottomans, we got EsliZ, I think. Going for on the stone, likely for the initial military school. Oh, something I noticed immediately over here for red. Both these deer deposits spawn pretty close by each other. That's pretty nice. Berries here as well, so a lot of food nearby for red. That should be pretty convenient. Woods in a relatively decent spot as well, good for natural coverage. There's argument made for red to make a secondary town center to help collect up the deer deposit. Going for coarse gold, stone right here. Hawkin Chapel could be very good right here as well, since you get the stone, gold, a little bit of wood. Yeah, it looks like red has pretty good map generation for the other gold deposits. One small one back here, two small ones here, and the large one way down here. For purple, both gold deposits spawn back here. Some odd reason natural seems a little bit farther away than normal. Maybe I'm just going a little bit crazy. Then again, didn't get much sleep last night. We're on deer deposit spawned up front, and another one right here as well. So both of them a bit exposed. Though both these wood deposits will provide some excellent natural coverage, so we're able to get a good, decent defense bonus there. For gold deposits, small one in there, another small one way down here. The large one actually is a little bit closer than red's, but that's basically the only thing really working in favor of purple other than the two wood deposits. I would say red has a much better... Ooh, Manwork Palace. Red has a much better spawn, and Manwork Palace is a very powerful landmark. It's just generally overshadowed by the Hawkin Chapel, which is even more powerful landmark in general. 50% faster research and cheaper blacksmith technologies. Very powerful for man-at-arms rushes. After all, you can just research your +1 range very quickly, and they get the siege engineers for half price. Manwork Palace is an excellent rushing landmark. Now the twin minaret meta race now being deployed free. Deploying on the field, blah. Housing. And got the spearman there. Scout needs to get those sheeple back home. He's gonna take time to collect up some deer. Nice thing about also getting +1 range melee armor for half price. It'll help fighting against these spearmen. Prelate here advancing, trying to get some good health regen here. Very nice. Makes a very safe defense. We now got the Age of almost complete. We got the barracks here ready to deploy out some man-at-arms. And has enough resources to get some early man-at-arms. And with marching drill, able to move almost as fast as the spearmen. At 1.24 as opposed to 1.25. Good enough. More stable, being put on the field by red. Looks like he's adding a bit more stability in his life. Sorry, I decided to turn off my phone. You may have heard it go off a little bit. Survival techniques now being researched by red as well as by purple. Exotic doggo. Looks like he wants one of the sticks to be thrown towards him. Purple's now obtained this venison deposit. Got a pair of archery range, blacksmith, and barracks. Exotic doggo does get put down. And we've got early +1 melee damage being researched. This increased the damage of man-arms from 10 to 11, which is not important when fighting against spearmen, nor against villagers. It's against horsemen at best. Though then again, Sapahi got nerfed in this recent patch, which now they're at 145 health, and +1 melee damage would help them out. But that's the only situation I can see where the +1 melee damage is useful. He doesn't need it. If his opponent gets +1 melee armor, sure, then you can counter out it, but right now he doesn't need it. Spearman charges way forward. I suppose it will help with Spearman. It does help out Horseman as well, putting them nice even 10, so it takes 5 hits to kill off a villager. For man-at-arms, like I said, not important, but for the other stuff, it is. +1 melee armor will come in handy for his man at arms. Surprised I don't see +1 range armor first. Right now the outpost is doing 6 damage. 3 range armor up to 4. They effectively reduce the damage received by 33%. Going for +1 range armor now. And remember, Siege Engineers is pretty nice. Help crack open this outpost and get a nice soft interior. Just imagine it biting into a bloody sausage. You have now some double broad axe, +1 range damage to be researched for the Ottoman player. Horsemen moving around. Looks like the sheep is being sent home. Another man at arms. Scout falling on back. We of course have a scout here, a handful of horsemans. Spahi here. Recent patch did nerf them, so they went from 155 health down to 145. Quite a significant nerf to them. Though they didn't get a cost reduction go along with it. Maybe reducing their cost by 5 resources wouldn't be half bad, since they also got a capability nerf. One villager does go down. I am curious about the Vizier points, but we'll worry about that a little bit later. Horsemans take a bit of damage there. Gonna fall back. Need to fall back to a prelate. Oh, we got the AoE healing from the Imam, so he has gotten the field work. Wheelbarrow now being researched by the Holy Roman Empire player. Right now, red does have a larger force in the field and a larger value or higher value in the field as well. Does right now have 300 gold versus, yeah, nowhere near close to aging up. Some gold being progressed towards aging up. Not really investing it all too much, so probably keep the number of villagers minimum there. He is going for now the all pikes. I don't remember this one. Oh yeah, that's the Menwork Palace. I forgot about that upgrade. It increases the damage and increased damage to a spearman and horseman by 2. Huh. I thought that was an upgrade to give them armor. Unless that got changed at one point in time. Could have sworn there was an upgrade to give horsemen and spearmen +2 armor. That must have been changed at one point in time. Steel barding also now affects black riders as well, so they are also pretty well armored. With this in total, regular knights become able to get up to 10 armor in Imperial Age. It's basically the Holy Roman Empire version of the English armored clad. Very nice, let's just say. The man-at-arms pose a pretty problematic front line. Well, good idea to focus on the Imams. They're getting some pretty good health regen going. Though we got excellent focus fire there by the archers, so the Imams' healing's not important since they die one volley. We do have a plus range armor from the Meter. Last of the man-at-arms are being cleaned on up. Got +1 melee armor and range damage by the Ottomans player. No range armor just yet. A good idea to go for that. Especially now he sees the Holy Roman Empire. Yep, he's going for +1 range armor. He sees the Holy Roman Empire player has a healthy number of archers. In this case, healthy number is 20, while their health is 70. Wait, crossbow. We got the extensive fortifications. You reduce the cost of town centers and defense buildings by 20%. Equips your garrison units with crossbows, increasing their damage by 1 and giving them +2 damage versus heavy. Against man-at-arms or a Holy Roman Empire player who's going more heavy, that's actually a pretty nice defensive upgrade. So right now with the +1 range damage, their base damage is 8 with +2, so they're effectively doing potentially 10 damage versus heavy. Much better than it was before. That's directly +3 damage, so doubling their damage output against the heavies. Trying to torch down the outpost. Does get set a garrison. Yep, right now 8 +2. Archer's firing away, getting some good amount of damage done. Imam's getting some good AoE healing. He does pick up the Imam, so no more healing in this age. We do now have, we do actually have the Fortitude ability being activated there. One of the rare times you actually see it in combat, since he is only fighting against range and a handful of melee, which is definitely worth it. Allowing to quickly clean up all those archers. Excellent Fortitude ability. Fire players going for more spearmen. Man-at-arms still a good idea. They were able to hard counter the archers and still be a good counter to the Sipahi. So right now Sipahi does have 12 damage, minus the 3, or now 4 versus the armor. So they do 8 damage, while the man-at-arms will be doing 11 damage. Minus the 1 armor, so 10 damage. Not to mention fast attack speed and roughly similar health, but just being more cost effective. Looks like the outpost will be going down. And the villagers will actually escape out now there. Metro does take a bit of damage there. Metro needs to be focused down. It is wounded enough to be warned to be focused down. It's force multiplier, making this entire force far more effective. With the ranged armor, it's effectively reducing damage by 1 against these archers. Effectively making that force roughly 20% more effective. So focus it down. Archers taking some, or villagers taking some damage there. Spearmen, not enough of them on the field to hold back the Sipahi. Horsemen will still be perfectly fine by the Holy Roman Empire dealing with this force. If you have a good number of farms being set up around the town center. You always can go for Cisternic Abbeys later on, so it doesn't absolutely need the Aachen Chapel, though it's still a pretty nice one. Plus, not to mention, the Men War Palace still can be utilized against with all the next ages of blacksmith upgrades while at it. Regnig's Cathedral now being put on the field. Of course, with him aging up quicker, he's potentially going to grab more relics. Autumn player is pretty far from aging up at the moment. And right now, both players have 50 villagers. Both players have lost 1. Purple's army is much larger than red, not to mention more than double the value. Red needs more spearmans. We got a pair of knights in the build queue. Very nice. Granted, the mana arms upgrade is actually have reduced cost since it is a early to regular upgrade. You see here, Spearman 100, 250. This is 50, 125, so half the cost and half the research time. Which is true for, say, the early Knights for the Roost, not true for the Royal, veteran Royal Knights for the French. Part of there taking some damage. Purpose on the fall back, taking damage from multiple sources. Veteran Archers now the build queue for the Holy Roman Empire player. Another Vizier point seems like it's recently been obtained. Goes to Standard Advanced Academy, which is very nice. This one's still probably needed, the military campus. And then I'm more Bioswords trade bags. The Head Imperial Armory now being queued on up. Knight roaming around does get bitten a little bit. And we've got more walls now going on up. Berry's been obtained. Red's obtained one relic so far. The last three are in the center here, in the bottom left, and the bottom right. Regular mana arms upgrade now on the way. I always go for the what's called steel barding upgrade. Giving us knights +2/+2 armor. Just put them up to 8/8 armor this age. Knight taking some damage there. Exotic Doggo does go down. Oop, got the bugged death state. Deer being obtained, not Pumbaa. I would assume Pumbaa would be the first target to be obtained. Wait, no, Ottomans. Eating Pumbaa is haram. Knight does go down. Got some Imams here against good AoE health regen. Camping that relic. Red has obtained 2 relics and picked up a 3rd. 4th one here can easily be obtained. Got some more barracks being established over here. Siege workshop here. And over here we do have horseman, scout, and knight. Because Spahi pushing the way forward. Will it get potentially a full surround? No, it does not. Spahi do move slightly slower than regular horsemen. Of course, they still move faster than knights and scouts. Right in the center will be going down. Animal full of spearmen came up north to stop the Spahi, but there simply probably would not be enough spearmen. There won't be a great trade for the Spahi. We do now have the Sipahi pushing way forward, a good number of them. And it looks like they're sort of harassing this area. It does have some other units nearby on the ground. A couple pellets here for a bit of healing. Right now, Red's army is pretty outnumbered right here. A couple Mangonels here will come in handy, but looks like Red may lose good number of forces. Good number of spearmen going down. Handful of villagers going on down there. And there is quite a bit of opening here, in other words, no walls. Mangonels find a very good volley there, even hitting some Janissaries. He has gone for Janissary companies, so likely the last one will be on military campuses. Over here, got these forces moving around, potentially hit some of these villagers. But they're backing off now. You now have the greased axles being researched by the Holy Roman Empire. Ahead, Imperial Armory, still producing spring or mangonels. Now that if Spearman is one that has in the field, maybe a good idea to start going for some spring guards after this. Guys taking some losses there. Spahi moving around. This force can easily be cleaned on up. Guys pushing his way forward. Got the horseman, gave some good damage onto that Mangonel. Couple horsemen there. This bugged out guy is still there. House of Swabia now being employed in the field, which will allow the Holy Roman Empire player to quickly max out his villager count. Mangonels fires a little bit of damage on this Swabia, nothing too significant. Good volley there. Mangonels counter barraging. One of those Mangonels to go down for red. Purple still has both of his. Push way forward. Spearmen generally moving forward. We'll find some hits on some archers and other things. Mangonels get a good volley there on the crossbow archers. Rise force largely been cleaned on up. We got a good number of prelates there getting stoned to death. Or red has now aged on up. Does have access to 5 black riders right now. We're just going for a health number spearman. Black riders would be very nice. Though, then again, they have to be careful around the Janissaries. Janissaries just do bonus damage to all cavalry. And black riders are considered all cavalry. Outpost will be destroyed. Relic set free. Red does have the Sacred Side right there, while the other two remain despicably neutral. Tithe Bar not researched by red, however, he only has 2 relics at the moment, and purple will be obtaining that 3rd relic. So red will have 4 relic income. He does also have an elite spearman at the moment, and has a lot of stones, so could get out another keep. Just send a villager maybe down south to the war of this gold deposit and start just building the keep. Villagers do provide diminishing returns when it comes to building. Next Vizier Point, the final Vizier Point is almost available. Nope, do have another keeping established here. Red's going for the other sacred sites. Elite Fan Arms now being researched by the Holy Roman Empire player. Do we see any of the, no, we don't see heavy maces nor twin swords. Twin swords would be very nice. And with now men arms field, weightless, not weightless maces, wrong, Age of game. The blunt weapons would be very nice. Both 6 sites have been obtained by red. Next, leaving the central one despicably neutral. Looks like we don't see Cisternic Abbeys being researched. It was slightly buffed in the recent patch. Ever so slightly increasing its radius, which I think just helps it encircle the farms nearby. But I'm not so sure. It's like a 0.5 radius increase. So something just perhaps to make it a bit more reliable, I guess. You know how the heavy mace is being researched. Purple right now has quite a bit of a larger army, nearly twice the value. Force them to push way forward. Got these other forces advancing as well. Red may have a bit of breakthrough, raiding some villagers. We do now have elite armor attacks being researched by red. We do have these secondary towns that are taking some fire. We do have a pair of Mangonels on the field. Though looks like they're going to be picked off really soon. I don't think Red's arm is going to last all too long, though Spearman does rotate around to the Spahi. Luckily, the +2 damage on the Spearman will help them just fight against heavier arc targets. Last one was military campus, so we'll be able to get the 5 military schools. Force them straight forward. Oh, that's actually the monster filled with relics, so if Red can break that open to perhaps get all the relics. Colin firing away, got a very large number of mangonels on the field. Mangonels do roll a miss there. Meteor will not get picked off there. Up north, we do have a single horseman being picked off by the keep. Red's also trying to steal this forward stone deposit. Red can also get up to 15 Black Riders now. Generally, I would say they're most times a no-brainer. Though against Janissaries is another matter. Pretty sure the Black Riders still outrange them. Plus, the cavalcade abilities are still very nice. Mangonels roll missed there. Purple honestly probably should just go for Spring Golds, but current go for Great Bombards. Decent amount of damage there on the front line for Red, but will it be enough? Right now Red has less than half the value of the army on the field, not to mention less than half the numbers. Oh, big wave of villagers trying to push the way forward. Some of the mangonels are the ones just standing still after they both killed one, well, both pairs, both groups. Great stone there onto the villagers. It looks like I got a cannon placement being researched by Red, as well as looks like fire. Oh, nope, switch the upgrades, going to the reinforced defenses. Looks like Red's going to be gearing up for one last engagement. No Black Riders. And deploy out 20 of them, which is a significant number of them. Some of these villagers being picked off by the horsemen. Very nice. We have now the Elite Lance Connect research on the way for the Holy Roman Empire player. These forces are pretty forward, trying to pick off some more of these villagers. They're trying to go for a keep in the back line. These forces are pretty forward. Actually, still don't have two weapons on the Elite Mana Arms, which is sort of interesting. Which will be useful against almost all of these select targets. There's hardly any heavy targets in the field for the Ottoman player, so he does actually have 20 mana arms on the field. So Red's forces somebody to clean up, does stone some more of these units to death. Red's force being cleaned on up, sort of being sent in a single file. Purple still has twice the army value than purple. It's not looking good for red, honestly. Though red does have a stockpile resource, purple does not. And some of these outlying structures are being raided. I don't know why there's a horseman there. That spot, it sort of looks fitting right there, with it being bugged out like that. Manners being cleaned on up. Mangonels and Great Bombards sieging down the keep. That pair of ball quints on the field for purple. More damage there. Some Red's forces being cleaned on up. Got some lands connected with some of the man arms. But right now, purple's armor is just far too large right here. Red's armor is just slowly being whittled down. More damage hitting that keep. It is being repaired on up. But it's taking quite a bit of beating there. No emergency repairs to help it out. Keep does go down there. Horseman lands next charging way forward, being quickly being killed on all. Red's armor just coming in single file. Purple does a pretty good back line, where Balkan's not really being threatened too much. Williams is taking a little bit of damage. Nothing too crazy at the moment. Does lose one of the culverins or Vulcans there, but lose a culverin in return. I was trying to decapture the central secret site. There's 4 minutes left until this Holy Roman Power player will win by a single sided victory, but that's simply not going to be the case. Purple starting to steamroll. Red has some resources to work with. Purple, not so much. Just getting bottom barrel when it comes to food. Has little with the work with it. Looks like Red does back the game now. This is AngradeVT saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.